This is The Witcher on TV Podcast Industries. We're talking about The Witcher Blood Origin Episode 3.
You and the mage, lass?
Yeah.
How'd you come to be then?
Well, it's a long story.
Only stories worth telling.
Well, one day you fall into a mage's mists. And she sees all that you have done. All the evil that you've torn into the world. And somehow she sees good in you. She starts to heal your soul with a gentleness that you don't deserve.
Oh, it's a great tale, huh?
Welcome back, fellow Witchers, and happy holidays once again. We're back with the third episode of The Witcher Blood Origin on TV Podcast Industries. I'm one of your hosts, Derek.
Hello there, festive fellow Witchers. I am one of your other hosts, John.
And rounding out this trio of festive Witchers.
A coven.
The clan of the baked gingerbreads. How's that?
Is it called a Coven of Witchers? That would be quite good, but I think that's just a Coven of Witches.
No, I know exactly.
Yeah.
I like
say that. Coven of Witchers.
Love it. Welcome back. Yeah, we're over halfway through now of our coverage of The Witcher Blood Origin, all 4 episodes that came out on Christmas Day. Am I still saying Blood Oranges or Blood Origin? Okay, I did get it right.
You've come past Blood Oranges and descended directly into the correct pronunciation.
Excellent. That was all planned. So I hope you enjoyed our podcast about the first 2 episodes. These are spoiler-filled discussions of each episode of The Witcher Blood Origin. Have you enjoyed the first couple episodes, guys?
Yeah, no, I did. And kind of just was, really excited to get into the last 2, see how they sort of rounded it out and dealt with it. Because I kind of quite like this world, ultimately. It's not one that I've really read. And with the game, it was so mahoosive that I didn't really go beyond... Well, I can't even remember now, but I was searching for herbs for so long that took me at least 5 hours. So yeah, it was just too big.
That was the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. That was the one that we were playing. And I know there's a big, massive upgrade for anybody who has a PlayStation 5 or got a PlayStation 5 for Christmas or an Xbox Series X or a Series S. There's a big upgrade for us, so you can go back and play it in like brand new graphics, and it looks amazing. So, so that's a good way to play it if you've never played The Witcher before. So
definitely
go check that out. But that might be something that we'll sit down and do over Christmas.
I think so. Like as I say, I just really enjoy this world. Actually,
yeah. No, I'm enjoying everything about this. If anything, as I kind of have spoken about in our last episode, just going a bit too fast. I think that's my problem. I'm like, slow down, let's take in the sides, let's do a bit of a Jaskier on it, like let's get it drunk a bit, let's chat, tell me a story, sing some songs. Like, wine and dine me, just keep going so fast.
It does all of those things, Chris. As I said last time, I think you're just spoiled by Andor and possibly by the 8 to 10 episode shows of the Witcher seasons, but it's better than a 1.5 hour movie, right? Can you imagine how much would be cut there if it was back down to one individual movie? It's just a 4 episodes show. So at least we get about 4 hours of The Witcher for Christmas, right?
Exactly.
Let's get into it. Let's get into our discussion about this. Just to remind all of our wonderful fellow Witchers, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, you can pop over to our website at tvpodcastindustries.com. Subscribe to the podcast there. You get access to all of our episodes covering each of the seasons of The Witcher, which we've discussed before, and of course the first 2 episodes there, and all the other shows that we cover over there. We do want to hear your thoughts on The Witcher and on any of the shows, again, that we cover. You can always email us to feedback@tvpodcastindustries.com or pop on over to our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/tvpodcastindustries, where you can leave a comment on any of the spoiler posts that we put up.
Good stuff. Derek, what are some of the episode details?
Well, episode 3 of The Witcher Blood Origin is called Of Warriors, Wakes and Wondrous Worlds. It's based on the book series by Andrzej Sapkowski and the game series from CD Projekt Red. Showrunner for this show is Declan de Barra, with executive producer Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich, who is the executive producer and showrunner of The Witcher.
Good stuff.
This episode is directed once again by Sarah O'Gorman and Vicky Jewson. Sarah directed 2 episodes of The Witcher Season 2, and Vicky directed episode 2 of Blood Origin. They both co-directed episode 1.
Keeping it in the fam.
Exactly, keeping them on board, doing all the directing for the series. This episode was written by Tania Lotia and Kiersten van Horne. The first Witcher episode for Tania, who was a staff writer on 6 episodes of DC's Swamp Thing. Interesting.
Ooh.
That was quite a nice little fact. And Kiersten has written 2 episodes of Snowpiercer and also DC's Krypton as well.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Chris is looking really surprised that there was a TV show called Snowpiercer that's been on for 3
I just
seasons.
forgot there was a TV show called Snowpiercer going, isn't that amazing? Oh, yes, there was. There was a multi-seasoned.
Yeah.
There's like 3 seasons of it already?
I think we're on to season 4 now. I feel like that's where
Yeah, we haven't watched season 4.
Yeah, the most recent season we've only seen about half of, as far as I remember.
But I really enjoyed it.
It's a good show. It's a good show. And they're the writers for this one. John, do you want to tell us what they gave us with your synopsis for The Witcher Blood Origin episode 3 of Warriors, Wakes and Wondrous Worlds?
Sure. Eile, Brother Death, Fjall and Scion escape the oncoming monster, travelling through a portal created by the mages Zacare and Syndril back to the continent. As the portal closes, the beast is split in 2. As the group arrives on the border of Xin'trea with Balor's beast flying overhead, they are greeted by Meldof and her hammer Gwen. They take in the disparate group, and when she learns of their plan to kill Elven Empress Merwyn, the 6 becomes 7. But to get to Merwyn, they must destroy the beast, as Fjall confides to Scion that there is no backdoor into Xin'trea. Syndril plans to create a beast of their own, using the heart of the beast already slain at the portal and Zacare's dark magic. Eile volunteers to go through with the difficult procedure, but after a night of heart-to-hearts, Fjall takes her place. While everyone is focused on Fjall's transformation, Scion concocts a plan of her own. She offers up Fjall to the Empress in exchange for the reward, the sacred sword of her people, Soul Reaver, and 50 of her men. Meanwhile, Merwyn has a plan to get her people back on side. She wants to conquer distant lands to gather their food supply for the elves. Arresting Balor, she tasks her own mage, Avalak, to replicate Balor and Syndril's use of the monoliths. But when he's unable to use them, the Empress makes an alliance with Balor, freeing him and his apprentice, Fenric. With Fjall transformed into the first Witcher, he declares his love for Eile, and the group start towards Xin'trea. They are led into a dead end by Scion as the Xin'trean soldiers block their return path headed by Scion. But with the help of a group of sellswords led by Uthrok Onenut, they realise Scion's double cross, killing Merwyn's men. They dress in their armour and head on the road to Xin'trea.
So here we are, 3rd episode of The Witcher Blood Origin, and we find the blood origin of The Witcher.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah, like especially that now I think it was the last season, we saw the actual Karen Morn in The Witcher. We saw the birthplace of the Wolf Clan, or the clan of the Wolf, like Geralt's clan, and you could see how they created Witchers, i.e. in that lab.
Yeah.
And now looking at the proto version of the very first Witcher blood being created, bloodline, all the way back on, it was a monster heart and some magic tendrils that kind of like vines that cut in, and then all these other kind of deathly potions. You're like, cool.
Yeah.
Good to see.
Absolutely. And they also go through the trial of grasses as well to prepare themselves for the magics as well. So there are some similarities to how Witchers are still created in our present day of The Witcher. So, kind of cool to see that. It is the story of the season. So, we're here in episode 3 and getting that. I think we should go into our big moments from the episode, the ones that stood out to you, the moments that you want to talk about. Where do you want to start? Chris, do you want to kick us off?
I'm gonna jump in very quickly and first say, well, look, the 6 is now the 7. Yeah. Yay! Yes. We've got the 7. Gwen is here. Gwen is now, technically, I think we should say 7.5 or 8, because technically, like, I'm counting Gwen as being the 8th member. She does talk in Meldof's head, but technically, and we do learn, like, she's built into the hammer with her ashes being part of the creation of that hammer. So we could technically say it was 8. But anyway, we have the 7 aligned, and it was, like, they were prophesied since the beginning of episode 1, as we kind of said. We had seen them all in the very, very beginning. I liked this overall kind of coming together of the all the parties in one kind of final thing, making the discussion of what they're going to do, and then going, do you know what? Someone's going to become a witcher and may die. We're going to go on a suicide mission, so let's just get messed up.
Gotta have that wake.
Yeah.
We're all going to die tomorrow. Yeah, like that. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you could look at this and think it's really convenient that Meldof was there to meet them as they came back through the portal. Because we met Meldof last week, but because her mission had nothing to do with what they were doing, it's actually just a bit of backstory as to who Meldof is that was told in episode 2, right? It's not coincidental. She was there. That's what happened. But just because we saw her last episode, it feels like a very weird coincidence that she's standing right outside the portal as they arrive. But that's their meeting point, right? So, so I really enjoyed that. I like how she knows who these people are from their histories and from the kind of talk that's been going around all the land of who each of these heroes are. She knows of them and really respects them. She hates elves. She's just gone on missions to destroy elves all across the continent, effectively, that had done what they'd done. Elves. Exactly, yeah, the ones that had done what they had done. But the reason why she's willing to join up with this group is because they're going to kill more elves, right?
Well, and
but she respects all of that.
In particular, the Empress. I mean, I kind of thought it was quite good that it's almost, well, I've done all my killing now. I've gotten the revenge for Gwen. So kind of got nothing left to do. And you're talking about killing more elves, and in particular, the Empress Merwyn, who she doesn't particularly like. So yeah, I'll join you. And she becomes the 7, but it's so offhand, so kind of chilled and relaxed way of doing it. I kind of quite like that, because all the others are so, in a sense, have this meaningfulness about them because they were part of the Dog Clan or the Raven Clan, and Meldof is just there going, well, actually, I've finished all my killing. I'm kind of at a loose end. I think I quite enjoy killing, really, and I'm good at it. So yeah, I'll be the 7th here, you know? So I like that.
Absolutely. But she does also say it's kind of like a no chance of survival. I might as well do it because this will be the last act before I go and meet Gwen is her point. So if she dies in the fight, she's not too bothered because she's accomplished her plan and there's nothing else to do other than sit in the cave and get drunk.
We do find there's a bit more to it. Like, so when she's speaking to Brother Death outside, they do go a bit deeper, and she talks about how theoretically, in her opinion, the elves are kind of assaulting and R-wording her heritage. The dwarfs, the monoliths were sacred and kind of buried as because of for fertility of the land and stuff, and they were buried on purpose. And not only have the elves continued to kind of assault her people, but also now they're assaulting her heritage and her land. And like, she goes in, that was one I was like, and you see Brother Death just going, I have no, I'm not going to fight you on this. It is true. We are disgusting people. And I was like, that's cool. Like, it was a good conversation that they get deep into in that bit. But again, it just shows that she's like, not just, there's more to it than, sure, I'm going to get drunk and then hopefully die in battle so that I can see the love of my life.
Well, she kind of puts that's how she kind of does it, because she's got nothing to lose. I mean, she doesn't like elves, but she is joining up with elves. So, and it's not because they're going to suddenly start killing all elves. It's just that actually it's the only thing to kill other than probably deer. But I mean, that's what I meant were, you know, she's done her thing for revenge on the people that had murdered her wife, girlfriend. Then I think what I really like with that conversation to Brother Death is effectively it's a portent of what is going to happen to the elves as well. You know, we've seen, like, with one of the episodes before with Merwyn saying how, you know, this elven palace or citadel of Xin'trea is built on the old dwarven cities. As I say, the monoliths were treated very differently, almost respectfully in a sense, using their power for soil fertility. And so definitely get the sense from Meldof, dwarves and elves are absolutely at odds, in a sense, culturally, in terms of how they view things, which is kind of interesting, because normally that would be, if you think of Lord of the Rings, the elves are that one with nature, and it's it's man that is effectively the exploitative. So I think that's why I really enjoy this world, because and certainly with these fours, because you don't have man there at all.
It's only elves and dwarves, and the dwarves used to be in power, and the elves took over. So they're the master race, I guess, is the way you'd kind of call it about the elves, right?
So I kind of like that conversation with Brother Death. I like the fact that when he reciprocates with the long story, she falls asleep as well, and then kind of, you know, waking up is like, oh yeah, that was great.
What a great
she is a great character.
She is.
Can we, Derek? Can you please tell the quick story that we just discussed off air about that very particular scene?
We were laughing about the fact that Chris had mentioned on episode 2 that Brother Death got the worst intro of everybody. He just kind of arrives, and now he's part of the 6 at the time. He just comes in and joins up, and he's telling a story of that history, which Chris wanted most out of episode 3. That's what he wanted, was an intro of these characters. And of course, Meldof falls asleep in the middle of it. So I love the joke of it. I love the joke that, yeah, we have 7 characters. Yeah, we have a backstory for Brother Death, but we're not really going to tell you the full detail of it. We're just going to have our major character fall asleep listening to it. So Chris actually sort of got his payoff of getting a backstory. But the joke is, we're not actually going to subject it to everybody's backstory.
I was so annoyed. I got so upset. It was really good. Anyway, the final bit of my point is the song. That is going to be released on Spotify within a couple of days of launch, and you know that is going to chart similar to Toss a Coin to Your Witcher.
I hope so.
Or the TikTok shanty thing we got for a while. Yeah. It's going to do that. That song permeates this episode and is just so soulful, well written, well produced, well sung, just everything about it. And I was like, they're going to do that as one of the key bits of the soundtrack for this, if not this episode, for the overall season.
Yeah, I hope so. Eile is such a great character. Her vocals are fantastic. Sophie Brown has a beautiful voice, and it feels of one with the world of The Witcher. You know, a lot of fantasy stories base a lot of information being transferred through song and through story and through poetry. So if you're going to do that in the world of The Witcher, you have to make sure the songs stand up to that.
Definitely.
There's so many times when people try and do that in movies and TV shows where they stick a song in there and it just doesn't, it just can ruin a show. But they've chosen the right actress. They've chosen the right kind of song and the right kind of music to get across these ideas really well. I think, it really stands out as a great tune.
Yeah, no, definitely. And again, I don't know if it will chart, but it will definitely kind of be within nerd circles. It will be quite big for a couple of days.
Yeah. And I'm really enjoying the way that they're doing that, ending each episode with the song of the episode as their kind of closing music as well. It's making it feel like an epic tale of warriors and well, wizards and mages, I guess. So, really liking that. That's a good check, Chris.
Excellent. Johners.
Yes.
What is your major point for this episode? Your big moment?
It has to be the transformation of Fjall. You know, like because I thought it was just very, very cool.
Yeah.
I like how Syndril basically has this plan to use the heart of the dead monster that he cut in half as they escape from it right at the start. And then it's merging it with one of the elves. with this special magic that Zacare has.
Yeah.
He says it is a dark form of magic that they're using, and I guess that procedure where there's an awful lot of that black goo, which is really visceral to me because, like, you know, like, I guess when you see stuff spitting out of people's mouths, it's normally blood. But it's just absolute blackness of it. I think it really represents like kind of the notion of something dark or, you know, unnatural in a sense of what's happening. And I thought that procedure was very cool.
Yeah. And connecting back to Fjall's nightmare or vision that he had in the last episode where he was drowning in the blood.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just thought it was very cool, just that transformation with those kind of roots that Zacare sends out from the heart of the monster to him. It's kind of like a binding magic, and as well, not to spoil anything, but just, you know, for episode 4, she uses that again. So I quite like that it's, you know, it's not sort of magic, this is the Witcher spell, it's a binding power that she has. And I really enjoyed just all of that. You have the other, like, really, you know, I guess one of the key points is it's Eile who is offering to have this transformation done on her. But with the wake and everything, it is Fjall that, I mean, effectively, he gets her drunk, possibly sleeps with her that night, don't know. There's certainly a kiss, that, you know, that they're sort of finding their feelings that, you know, dog and raven can come as one, and that, you know, she wakes up to find him not next to her and has gone off to take this elixir to ultimately become the first Witcher. So like, it's a huge moment. And so, you know, there's all of that kind of the group dynamics because it was Eile that was going to do this, and now it's Fjall. But I just thought it was really well done. I like the fact you get the black eyes coming in, which is just so good. As he kind of transforms. For some reason, I knew he was going to become a Witcher, you know, or have the Witcher's powers. But just the way Syndril was describing it, I did think he was going to be more beast rather than man. But of course, that wouldn't make sense when you see like Geralt and the other Witchers. So yeah, I kind of initially was thinking it was a more extreme form of transformation that was going to happen here. But certainly you see sort of a wildness creep into Fjall.
Absolutely.
It seems to be that Eile is the one that can kind of just calm him down there. So he's still in there. And I think it's just because Syndril was saying how, you know, you will lose him. But at this moment in time, certainly, Fjall is still in there. He, you know, he knows these are his friends. And it seems to be Eile that has that connection because of the connection the night before. So it was a good job they did go into the woods to sort of get to know one another.
Absolutely, yes.
In the biblical sense.
In the biblical sense, exactly.
Yeah, she can really calm the savage beast within him. I do love that we get those yellow eyes just like Geralt has. So it does feel very wolf-like, and given that he's from the dog clan, that also makes a little bit of sense as well. It feels like he's gone from being in the dog clan to being a wolf kind of thing. So that's very cool. It's a really good transformation. I think going into the series, if you were to look at the cast poster of all the members of the Seven and choose who was going to be your first Witcher, you'd probably say Fjall, because you'd want to have a kind of an echo of Geralt in this cast. But as the show's gone on, I think I absolutely expected it was going to be Eile that would take over. She seems much more of the major character, and the way they were building her up in the show. So I like how they twisted the story to get it to this point that he's almost sacrificing himself for Eile.
Yes.
Because he doesn't want to lose her. So I kind of like that that's the way it's going, and that he feels responsible for everything, given that he was the one that protected Merwyn, all the way along. He was her private guard, and now she's the Empress of all the land. So all of that is partly his fault, effectively, because
Yep.
if he hadn't been there to protect her, she wouldn't have gotten in the position that she got into. So, I like that. I like the reasoning behind why he would take this on. It's not a simple reason. He's not just the hero. He's also got personal stakes and wants to protect, Eile as well.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm with you on all of this. I think for me, it was fun to see, like, the from a historical point of view, if you want to call it that, in terms of, we've seen a lot of the later aspects 1,000 years in the future. So seeing this back in the day is fun. It's nice to see.
The true beginnings. Yes.
Yes, exactly. The true beginnings. I am with you in that I thought it was going to be the Lark all the way up. That, like, she would become the first bird clan or something, and we'll kind of, because he was the dog clan. There was a split second where I did think they were going to do, like, that the School of the Wolf, which is Geralt's clan, was everyone from the dog clan, and that the bird clan was going to be a different school of the bird or the thing, and that in actual fact they were going to split. It was going to be decided that the 7 were going to become different members of the houses, and that's how they were going to. All of the houses came from each of one of these. Yeah, right. And I was like, that's where my brain initially went, because you could see the threads of that. And I think they may in the future. Really? I think you do have all these options, because you do have each of these members are different, theoretically could be different houses.
Yeah, it'd be like Harry Potter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Who's Ravenclaw?
But with a bit more depth and a bit more raunchiness.
Yes. Yes.
But I loved it. And again, that song for me was the one that calms him, and sung all the way through this episode, especially key moments, just being idyllic. Yeah. The interesting thing I did like, and it's kind of tangentially attached here, is that the where Syndril and the witch came up with this was that they tried to bring back their mother from the dead, and brought back something else.
Yes. I was trying to think of the bestiary of The Witcher. There is a whole documentary that's on Netflix that's put together of all of the beasts that we've seen. Couldn't pick out exactly what it is, but I know these are kind of low level monsters within The Witchers. They're like zombies effectively in the world of The Witchers. So that's what they created. So monsters aren't just seeping in from outside. It's also because they're using crazy magic to try and do things they shouldn't be able to do in this world as well. It's also creating some other monsters too.
I wonder if it's those monsters that Geralt was attacked by in the forest, that came up from the soil, like the zombies. I think it was from season 2 of The Witcher. Could be that kind.
Could be something like that. Yeah. I remember seeing zombies in this world, but there's been so many monsters over the last couple of seasons that not 100% sure exactly which ones are which and what their names are. There was also a mention about, so they've created this Witcher to go up against the Beast. And they were trying to think of another plan to do it. There's also this call out from Brother Death about, should they not just poison a lamb or poison a sheep and feed it to the beast? And everybody laughed at how stupid that plan was. And I was kind of going, is that a reference to something that was done in the first season of The Witcher? I feel like I remember Geralt and Jaskier having a similar conversation about poisoning a sheep and feeding it to a beast to kill it. Yep,
that's exactly what it was. Excellent. And it's out of the game as well. In the game, there is a griffin that's eating a load of cows and sheep, and someone comes up with the idea, we could just poison that as well.
Very good, very good. I was wondering.
You don't do that.
Because it seemed like a really good, it seemed like a reasonable plan, at least. Now, it's a big beast. You probably couldn't take it down with just one poisoned sheep, but everybody laughed so heartily about it, it felt like a reference to something else. So I'm glad I caught it anyway. Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff.
Excellent. Derek, what was your big moment for this episode?
I want to talk about Scian, to be honest. That's kind of my big moment from the episode. This was a really good storyline. And when I watched it, I was thinking about you, Chris. I was thinking about your comments about, I mentioned about Brother Death not getting a backstory, and you'd mentioned about not really caring about Scian because we didn't get any backstory about her. We just knew she was a badass, basically. And it's Michelle Yeoh. And when I watched the episode here, I was thinking about you and realizing that this worked out quite well, that we didn't have a backstory for Scian, other than her entire clan had been killed, because you kind of go, well, is she the desperate kind of person that would turn in Fjall and Eile to Merwyn? We can't really trust her because we don't know her backstory. I was going, that ends off being quite a good choice that we didn't have that backstory, which I thought was really good. It played to its benefit, because I absolutely thought when we saw her go in there, you see how important Soul Reaver, the blade is, the last piece of her legacy, the last piece of her history. You see how important that is to her, and you go, maybe she would just trade in these people. It doesn't really matter to her. She's always lived the life of a hermit. So I was kind of going, oh, actually, maybe this is her plan. And then when she calls for the 50 members of Merwyn's army to come and take down Fjall, I was going, she's strong enough herself. She could probably take down Fjall, but maybe she understands that now he's getting, now working alongside him. Maybe she does need 50 members of an army to take him down. So I was going along with it the whole time, not thinking that this could be some kind of double cross. And what cemented it is the moment when she brings them all into the kind of quarry area, and they all get sealed off by Merwyn's army, and she pulls her horse up standing right in front of them. It really felt like they were about to just attack. So I was totally sold on this, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, it was slightly different from that, in the sense that I didn't think she was double crossing them. Because she'd had the conversation with Fjall, who basically said there is no secret passageway into Xin'trea. Because I think he says, if there was, I would have sealed it up.
Exactly.
Being the Royal Protector clan. So her going and doing that, to me, it was like, well, that's how they're going to get in. That's how they're infiltrating into Xin'trea, but also, more importantly, deep into the palace, because it's a massive city. So I was like, okay, I get it. That's a good plan. It was when she heads up the column of the 50 soldiers, I was like, oh, okay. So she was being totally serious with this. This was the reward for Fjall, some additional sort of pocket money for the Lark as well as then getting her tribe's sword back as well. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't see that. Right. And then, of course, she calls on Uthrock One-Nut.
Yay!
And so it's like, okay, that was really good. Because it had me absolutely flipping between, this is how they're getting in, she's been part of the team, to, oh no, she isn't, she's betrayed them, to, oh no, she is.
See, it's just like a Christmas panto, John. Oh no, she isn't. Oh yes, she is. Yeah.
The great widow twanky that is Michelle Yeoh was fantastic.
Absolutely, and we do get introduced to Uthrock One-Nut, played by Dylan Moran, very famous comedy legend, I would say, over here at this side of the ocean, but probably not very well known outside. I know he's been in a few movies that have crossed over into the US, usually playing the funny best friend or the funny drunken friend.
Kind of sank, I guess.
But I don't think he ever.
I don't know whether they were the best movies.
Yeah, I think Run Fat Boy Run was probably the only one I remember with Simon Pegg.
Oh my god, I love that film.
Yeah, okay. In terms of US movies, I mean, but like Shaun of the Dead, he's in there as well. So
he is, of course, yes.
There is one TV show that some Americans may know him from, which is, of course, Black Books, which was Bill Bailey. Yeah. It has made its way onto Netflix, and I know some kind of folks who enjoy British comedy definitely have checked it out. Very much similar to Spaced. If you've ever watched Spaced with Simon Pegg, it's kind of along those comedic lines.
Yeah, Dylan Moran's a lot more miserable than any character in Space, though. I love Black Books. It's one of my favorite shows, but it has a very, very dark sense of humor. So what I love about Dylan Moran is he has that sense about him. Every time you see him, he has that sarcasm about him, that he hates everybody around him, doesn't want to spend any time with anybody, and Black Books is the perfect Dylan Moran vehicle. It's all about him and how many people he hates and how he can piss everybody off around him. What I like here is seeing something very different about him in Uthrock. He's the leader of an army. He's very supportive of his group around him. It seems he's the one that's inspiring them all to join this effort effectively. So he may be a sellsword leader, I guess that's probably what he is. But he is able to lead this army, and you would never expect that from the type of roles Dylan Moran has done in the past.
No,
especially from an elf with one nut.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a story. It's all a story.
Yes.
It's all a story. I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed the back and forth, the flips of this story. I agree with you, Derek. The lack of knowledge on who these characters was played into this.
Yeah.
In that we just weren't sure, because I wholeheartedly was up until she called Utherok. I was like, oh my god, they're going to pull out the Witcher badassery right now, and he's going to take down 50 men by himself.
Yes.
And you're going to have that kind of like superhero landing where he jumps and twists and like destroys everything in one go. And it's going to look like something out of the TV show. To then go, oh, okay, this is so much cooler. This was a well thought out plan. It was funny.
It was very cool. It was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also get to see a little bit of Meldorf's archery skills as well. She takes out two guys with one bow. That was very cool. Two arrows in one bow, and takes out two guys running away. That was very cool.
Yes, but she quickly throws away the bow because Gwen gets jealous.
Yeah, Gwen gets jealous.
That was
exactly.
excellent.
Yeah. Exactly.
I love that little touch.
Yeah, so that's my big moment from the episode. That's the idea of the double cross from Scian. Really good. Weirdly though, for this episode, because it's been such a focus for the last few episodes, there is the other side that's going on, the kind of scheming that's going on in Merwyn and what she's actually doing with her plan. You know, we just to mention it kind of in notes as we close out the episode, but she has effectively realized her plan to overthrow Balor. She's accomplished that now. You know, that was only a discussion last episode that potentially the army and the crown or the throne would join together and overthrow the mages, overthrow the magic users. But here, effectively, her plan was that she would have her mage steal the book that Balor has been using to open up the monoliths and try and use it himself. But he fails quite miserably pretty quickly, even though Balor and his assistant have been both captured and thrown in prison. They kind of have to go back and create an alliance between the three of them again, between the army, the throne, and the magicians, the mages.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, yeah, this plan's kind of enacted quite quickly. Like, I mean, you see Avalak sort of stealing that contraption that Balor uses to sort of activate the monoliths or get the readings or what have you that he took from Syndril. I like the moment where he just comes in because he knows. And I like the whole tension in Merwyn's, sort of royal chambers, where ultimately what you find is, you know, and quite interestingly in respect probably of the chaos magic, is that this apprentice, Fenric, who's by his side and is imprisoned with him, is actually quite special. Yeah. So that's kind of interesting because he completely stands down from sending Avalok off the balcony to his death, when, Captain Erin, puts the knife to Fenric's throat. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then I did like the moment where Avalok effectively failing miserably at activating the monolith means that Merwyn's got to go back a bit of humble pie. And, you know, Balor pushes it to say, well, release me and also Fenric. Yeah. And, I love the fact that the signing is, Fenric saying, you can't trust this bitch. To which point, like, and she thanks you as well, humbly, to Merwyn. So I kind of liked all this, but I do think it was a bit quick.
It was.
It felt like something needed to happen in this part of the story. And a bit like you've mentioned, Chris, if they had 5 episodes, that could have just been sort of drawn out a bit more. Or just have Avalok sort of activate it, but they need Balor, and so he goes in chains, or something like that.
Right.
I don't know, but it felt a little, maybe almost superfluous a bit to this story. But I kind of liked how it transpired a bit, certainly with the deal struck, and certainly the interaction with Fenric and Balor, because ultimately that scene, it kind of added an importance of that relationship there, rather than simply just being some kind of mage apprentice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I think the one thing you also really miss about it is you don't get the irony of what's happened here with Balor. He says it, but you don't feel it because he's only been in this room or in this cell for about an hour or so. But what he says is he built this specifically to make mages feel naked and afraid and unpowerful. And now he's in that position, but you don't feel it if he'd been in there for a year, like you would get on the Witcher TV show. Balor thrown into a cell, and then a year later they come back and he's still there. You'd feel that he was powerless. Whereas here it just feels like, well, he's only been there an hour or so. He's telling us he feels powerless, but he can't do anything. But yeah, you miss that kind of irony that he's the one that created the room. So
yeah. And it feeds into. This whole thing feeds into his insecurities of being lowborn as well. In this really hierarchical setup with the royals and the monarchy and the empress and so on. So, that's an important driver for him. He had it all there. And ultimately, even though it may be for different reasons from Merwyn, for him, he's just been taken out by his overlords, his superiors, like he would have worried about, would have expected to happen. Yeah. And it's kind of like, you see the deflation in Balor. Yeah. And
he says it's because they all think of him as a lowborn person that's above his station, but Merwyn explaining that that's not it. It's just,
exactly. But nonetheless,
it's just you are above your station.
Yeah.
But,
And that's why in the cell with the deal, just the expression on Balor's face is really good when he gets that deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to call out very quickly, like, Lenny Henry in this role. Yeah. Like, really good casting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, really, it was ever since, like, he kind of got a bit more into acting in, what was it, like, Broadchurch? He did some stuff a couple of years ago with David Tennant and a few others, and he kind of went deep into serious acting.
Yes.
And I think this is very much him, again, showing some chops that I wouldn't have thought he was not capable of, but like, I still see him as very much a comedian from the British comic relief kind of aspects and some of his more comedic roles in the 90s.
Yeah, he talks about it, and he's just released his biography, and he was talking about it recently, that he feels like he's had 3 phases of his career. The first phase was his comedy and stand-up time, and then it was comedy acting, and then about 10 years ago he discovered this drama side. He's done a lot of stage plays, preparing and doing a lot of serious acting, and now he's getting bigger and bigger projects.
He played Othello on stage.
That was it, wasn't it? Yeah. He was in West End.
Yeah. It was to great reviews. I never saw it, but and like you say, I mean, what was the other thing? It was called Chef, wasn't it? I didn't actually watch it.
I did. Yeah.
But that was quite a long-running series, I think, that he was the lead in.
But it was like a comedy drama. There was quite a bit of drama in it at the time. A pretty old show now. I think it was late 90s. But we'd mentioned it before. We've talked about him recently being on the Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings prequel series. And now in this show, he's going to be in Nancy Boys, coming from Neil Gaiman next year. And he's done a lot of he's in
Sandman as well.
Yeah, he did a voice in Sandman as well. But he's done a lot of book narration as well. He's done a lot of that kind of work over the last couple of years. So it is great to see him in these roles. You're totally right, Chris. We've grown up with Lenny Henry being around, so you do always kind of call back to the highest profile stuff that he did, which would be something like comic relief. But I'm really glad he's getting these kind of roles, lots of meat in the drama, and being a villain here is something that you just don't expect from such a friendly, happy guy like Lenny Henry as well. So, and he's doing it well.
And for me, it comes out in that scene in the prison, in the jail. Like when he's talking about how he built this to house other mages and it's not him. And then you still got the element of, like, right at the end where he accepts the offer and she goes, what the hell is this bee talking about? And he goes, she thanks you from the bottom of her heart.
Yeah.
You still get that slight comedic edge, but it's just wrapped in this deceit and this drama that I was like, no, I'm enjoying this character.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely.
And I mean, but it's also the fact that, you know, he's imprisoned in that cell and he says, I now understand about the true sacrifice. That the kind of Powerball, or cosmic energy was talking about, you know, that he would have to make.
Yeah.
So
The Powerball is a very different thing in North America, John. That's the lottery over there. So, so maybe the energy is the lottery.
It
Maybe
could
that's
be.
it grants all your dreams. All you have to do is play. Right, that's it for our discussion about episode 3 of The Witcher: Blood Origin of Warriors, Wakes, and Wondrous Worlds. John, overall, what did you think of the episode?
I really liked it. I'd give it 4 black potions out of 5. Yeah, I just thought this was really good, seeing sort of creation of The Witcher. I love just them all, you know, finally the group of 7 together. And again, the interactions here, there's some really fun stuff here, serious stuff. As I say, I'm just really enjoying being in the Witcher world and seeing these new characters. I mean, to be honest, I think they're doing a really good job of the story as well, given it's a mini series effectively of 4 episodes. But I'm enjoying it that much that I do want to have season 2 or mini series 2 of this or something. I really would like to see that with these characters, given that, you know, hopefully all of them survive to the end. But, you know, I would.
I like the little nod of Avalak here, discovering when he's looking through Syndril's books that he thinks he's realised that there's possible time travel available from the books. So you're going, maybe we can see Michelle Yeoh in The Witcher in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very true.
Very much so, especially how they left season 2 of The Witcher.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah,
You never know.
no, definitely.
How about yourself, Chris? What did you think of the episode?
I'm enjoying every aspect of this, and again, my only complaint is the amount of time with the characters. Again, agreeing that, yes, it paid off well with Michelle Yeoh's character, and the not knowing the backstory allowed us to have this concern that maybe she is betraying them. But for me, it's some of just this backstory on some of the characters that I just want. I just want to spend a bit more time with them, have a bit more understanding of the machinations and the reasons they do things. And very much getting the inside joke that Meldof falls asleep as Brother Death tries to tell his backstory. But he has this cool love affair and back of, like, grief with the witch, but we're never going to know it. Because the meta is that we don't care because we're going to fall asleep. So for me, it's like loving this series, enjoying what it is. It's a slightly too little, too quickly. I just want that a bit more. I want to stew in it a bit more, but completely understand why they're doing this limited series. And let's hopefully see more. Derek, what about yourself?
Absolutely. Maybe that'll be the Witcher. The next Witcher game will be based 1,200 years before the other Witchers, and you have to play as all these characters. There you go.
So there is a remake of The Witcher 1 for next gen. There's 2 other Witcher projects after that as well.
Yeah.
So there's 3 Witcher projects in active development.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, and one eventually will be a new story after The Witcher 3. It'll happen. Good stuff. Yeah, I enjoyed this episode a lot. Nothing more I can really add to our discussion overall. But yeah, I thought this worked really well. I like having the full group now of 7 together, and I like those twists and turns of what was going on with Scian in this episode. And yes, the creation of The Witcher, which I didn't know I wanted as much as I did. I thought it worked really, really well. I loved how it was acted. With Fjall going through the pain he's going through, because it echoes what we've seen the Witchers having to go through when they're going through their creation as well. We've seen the pain that they go through in in the animated show and in the live action show. So it was great seeing those echoes back from Fjall. So overall enjoyed this episode. We are going to hopefully hand off to ourselves in the future with some feedback from our wonderful fellow Witchers. Well, we're back, full of Christmas dinner.
Very full of Christmas dinner.
Yeah, full of Christmas cheer. Lots of leftovers, going to be filling us up for the rest of the week. And we are also back with some feedback on The Witcher Blood Origin episodes 1 and 2.
Excellent stuff. Yes. Shall we kick off with some feedback over on Facebook from Dr. Bob Phillips for episode 1? Mm-hmm. Bob Phillips says, I loved the framing of this. Take the annoying bard, nearly kill him, so close, and then turn the series into a celebration of the necessity of story. I was a little surprised to find a not hobbit as an assassin sage, but those monoliths are said to tear the veil between worlds. Very glad to see Emperor Giorgio claiming leadership of the Gang of Three, and I'm very taken by the bare beauty of the Icelandic scenery. Throw forward to the Elven axe survivor query, John Harrison wondered if the axe had caused enough damage to create a pneumothorax on one side, maybe splitting nerve to the legs, but gave a few minutes for the air pressure within the chest to build and finally crush the heart, during which time the warrior managed to get a last blow in. Yes, well, I think the query there is nicely answered there.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dr. Bob. I completely forgot that Dr. Bob does not like Jaskier.
Yeah, I know.
Almost got him killed. But not only did he not die in that opening episode, we also got 2 Jaskiers in the opening episode. So I don't know how that worked for you, Dr. Bob. But yeah, great to see Emperor Giorgio back again. Emperor Giorgio is a character on Star Trek Discovery, also played by Michelle Yeoh, who is everywhere at the moment because she's absolutely wonderful, of course. So great to see her here in Blood Origins. We really enjoyed her on the show as well. Thanks, Dr. Bob.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Bob.
He also had some thoughts about episode 2. Says, cracking on a pace here. Highlights for me were evil Lenny's line about control the narrative, control the world, and the introduction of a murderous hammer-wielding Joff with her girlfriend / weapon. They seem to have skipped the stories of the other companions, and maybe this is why the alliterative titles are gapping as they progress. Very good. Yes, we didn't get what we thought was going to be C letters in the second name. It went on from B to D, as Chris was talking about.
Yeah, although I do think that was Chris's just sense of order and sequencing.
I think it was.
I don't think there's any intention to have particular gaps.
Yeah, especially because the rest of the episodes don't follow that sequence in any way, shape or form.
Yes, and evil Lenny's, that line just is so self-referential to The Witcher, but also to this tale as well with Blood Origin.
Yes, that was, I think, the quote I used for the opening scene as well, because I really liked that
definitely
tale.
Good stuff. Thank you, Dr. Bob. Mm-hmm. We also got some feedback in for episodes 1 and 2 by email from Coffee and Vodka. Mm-hmm. Greetings, fellow truncated defenders. I hope your holidays are going well. We live in a time so rich in quality motion picture and television programming that we've come to take it for granted, no longer calling it entertainment but content. In trying to keep up with so much of it, I've appreciated this fast-paced mini-series. Mm-hmm. Michelle Yeoh was an excellent and strategic get for the show, legitimizing a best-of scene selection of the books and giving it a gravitas it might not otherwise have had. Saying this, it really is a fun romp that knows not to take itself too seriously while providing context for Geralt's world with excellent special effects, good acting, and again, great pacing. Favourite characters thus far are Meldof and Gwen of the Flowers. 4.5 clan bakes and hammered patrons out of 5. Peace and take care, Coffee and Vodka.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Coffee and Vodka. Yes, the holidays are certainly going very well, although a little full up on turkey and turkey curry and ham.
The ham's gorgeous, though.
The ham is lovely. Yes, overdosing on ham butties at the moment, for sure.
Yes, ham, weirdly, my speciality.
It is.
Yes.
With lots of mustard as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right as well. Michelle Yeoh was absolutely a great get for the show. I mean, just the whole fight scene at her singular tent tribe was just phenomenally good, really.
Yeah. It's an old quote from Alfred Hitchcock that you cast an actor because of the history that comes with them and the past roles that they've been in, so that people form a connection with them straight off the bat. And I think they've used Michelle Yeoh very well in this series in that form, because everybody knows her now. She's done so many different shows and movies over the years. Everybody knows who she is. People will come on board and watch the show just for her, and maybe taken aback by some of the twists and turns of her storyline throughout the season, because they think they know who she is. She's the amazing kick-ass heroine in a lot of movies. She is a villainous character, I know, in some other roles as well. But because of the kind of history of the character, you come in with an expectation of who she's going to play in this show. So I think they've worked that very well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Good stuff. Thanks, Coffee and Vodka.
Yeah, thank you, Coffee and Vodka. And also, the context for Geralt's world is just really, really good for me. It really layers in Geralt's world, and I'm really looking forward to Witcher Season 3 having this knowledge as well. It was the same with the animation last year, so good point indeed.
Absolutely. Thanks for the feedback. We will be back on episode 4 with a bit more feedback on the final 2 episodes. That's it. That's the end of our coverage of The Witcher Blood Origin, episode 3. We are going to go on to our next podcast, which will be the finale of The Witcher Blood Origin. Thanks so much for joining us for this episode.
Yes, thank you so much. And if you enjoyed what you heard, don't forget to head on to tvpodcastindustries.com to subscribe, like, and share everything we do. If you really, really enjoyed what you've heard, don't forget to head on over to patreon.com/tvpodcastindustries, where you can support us for any ongoing monthly amount. Or if you just want to do a one-off donation for the Christmas holiday cheer, why not head on over to buymeacoffee.com/tvpi, where you can buy us an Irish coffee just for the Christmas winter. Thank you so much. And if you really, really enjoyed it, don't forget to like and share, because sharing the podcast is what, gents?
It is sharing the festive love.
Sharing the festive
exactly.
love. That's it, yes.
Oh, I like that. Thank you so much. And we'll speak to you again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, we also have our end of year review out. Should be available in your podcast catcher right now. And we will be back after The Witcher with the next season of Star Wars The Bad Batch. Season 2 begins on January 4th. So make sure you stay subscribed, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks for joining us, fellow Witchers. In the meantime, before we're back, keep watching, keep listening, and keep witching. Bye.